Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Jennifer Scrapping Cane. Today I'm sharing an 11 by 8.5 layout. This is for Color Rush Studio, which is a kit club. All the information is down below in the description box. If you do choose to go and buy anything, make sure and use my code Jennifer10 and save 10%. I showed you the photos that I plan on using. I did print a few other ones in a smaller format, but they're the same photos. So there I showed you the 4x6s. Mainly it's going to be of my goddaughter's graduation for the first couple of layouts, and then I will have a few others that I will add in later in the month to use up the rest of this kit. I absolutely love this kit. And the kit she named Wild Soul this month, and I'm so excited to use it. This is the new Pink Paislee collection, Joyful Notes. It's beautiful colors and a nice spring without being too springish. Most of the spring collections are green, and yellow. This one has lots of blues and purples, absolutely adorable. And those little gnomes are brand new. She's trying something new this month. Sorry, I was interrupted. She added in a few wood veneer pieces, and there's a few in this pack here. And these are acrylic little daisies that are so cute. Butterflies, those are from a different collection. Those aren't part of Pink Paisley K and Company, I believe. And then more wood veneer pieces. And Wild Soul is one of the titles I plan on using later in the month. And let's get started on the layout. I'm going to use the sketch on this first layout here. This sketch is part of the Facebook group. If you go to the Color Rush Studio Facebook group, you'll see all the design team using this layout. And this frazzle here is a black polka dot with white polka dots. It's available in the a la carte section, so you can buy it separately. It doesn't come in the kit. And I cut it in half so that I could use a little bit more of it, but also so that it's a different size than the strips of paper that I cut to go behind my photo. So I could have just added a plain photo mat behind the photo, but since she includes a lot of the ribbons and frazzles, those come in every kit, I wanted to showcase those in a way to use those on each layout. So I'm going to lay them behind the photo in strips. So I'll lay the paper strips down and the black and white polka dot strips. Not sure how many times I can say strips in one video, but we'll see. I went ahead and I gutted the background paper, which I used the notebook paper. I thought that was pretty fitting for a graduation layout. And then here I'm going to add the white cardstock, and I use the thin double-sided tape to do that and then place it where it needs to go. As you see, only the corners are down at the moment, and then I just pull the tabs and you have it perfectly aligned. It doesn't always work out that way, but a lot of times it does. So I tend to do that when I'm trying to add it to a frame. So this here is the background paper that I chose to use. The white daisies are absolutely beautiful with this greenish blue tinted background paper. And I'm adding that one down. I use the decal edge scissors here to cut this little notebook piece of paper. And I also used a punch to notebook punch it at the top. So, and inked it up with black ink. I will be using black ink throughout the layout here and there. I also do a little bit of distressing on the papers if I don't ink them up. So here you can see I'm cutting up the yellow strips. At first I wasn't sure how wide to cut them, so I cut two at about 1 inch and the other two at about 3/4 of an inch. I end up going with the 3/4 of an inch for all 4 of them, but at first I was just trying it out. So I'm laying out the photos, and I could have used 3 photos like the sketch shows, but I thought it was a little bit too much. So I went ahead and just used the 2 photos, and then I'm going to add kind of a larger cluster to the right hand side. So that just looked a little bit more eye-appealing to me. And also with the smaller scale for the layout, sometimes the smaller photos work better. As you saw in the beginning, I had two 4x6s of the same photo. But of course, if I put two 4x6s on this layout, that's not going to leave much room for me to embellish. And just sizing them down to the 3x4 size doesn't take anything away from the photos. You can still see her beautiful face, her smile, everything, all the details. They're just at a smaller scale. And I will keep the 4x6s, in case I decide to do another layout later on. But I'm going to actually do an 8x10 layout later on in the month with one of her graduation photos. And I kind of think it's going to be all good. The smaller scale is just fine. And I could always give the 4x6s to her and she can have them just to have. So they're not going to go to waste. So here I'm cutting the frazzles, and I just cut them in strips, and I wanted to make sure that they would fit behind the photos but not waste the black and white strip, because that's so usable to use that frazzle on another layout. So I'm trying to get my title where I'm going to place it, and I wanted it to be on top of this notebook paper that's going to be at the top. And then I lay out my strips of paper, and I'm going to start laying those out. I did distress the edges of those, and then I will get them where I want them to be and attach them down, and then make a little bit more ATG marks for the ribbon to lay down. So I just press it down in there, and then I'll add play foam to the back of the photos and liquid glue, and that will hold the frazzles in place. Plus they have other embellishments going on top of them, so I don't think they'll fall off or go anywhere. And I did have to, at first I was going to center it, and then I decided to move it a little to the left. And the reason being is congrats fits a little bit better between the photos if I move it over just a little bit. With the C and the G coming down into the photo, I didn't want to cover anything up that was important. So I'm going to add a little bit of flowers at the top around congrats. And one of those flowers is the ribbon, that's the daisy ribbon, and I just cut one off. And then I'm going to place it along with the other little flowers that are paper and mix them in. And some of the flowers are actually vellum. I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly how many of them are vellum that I use, but I do use one or two little vellum ones at the top. And then the cutout pieces you see to the left are the green and tan and pink color, and those are the back side of the notebook paper cut out from the circles. So I just wanted to add a little bit more of that color around into the clusters. So I cut those out and then distressed the edges of them, and I'll add them in around the layout with the clusters. So you can see I'm adding them there at the top. And that was just to give it a little bit something else. The pink I added in because that's her favorite color, and it's in the collection, and it just gives your eyes a little bit something more to look at, but it's not in any of the papers. It's just in the embellishments that I'm using around the layout. And I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to finish up the cluster here on the right hand side. This one was pretty simple. I just used one of the floral clusters that was pre-made and then added in the three little square pieces behind it. And then over here I added this cute little gnome, and he's holding flowers, and I did color him with markers, and I added him at first to a vellum flower, but to me it looked off balance. It wasn't heavy enough on that side, so I tried adding one of these daisies over there, and it looks cute, it's fine. I do leave the daisy, but in the end I'm going to end up changing out that vellum piece, and I'll change it out for this flower here that's on white cardstock, and it's pink flowers kind of the same ones he's holding in his hand. And to me, that just looks a little bit more balanced over there now. It added just a little bit more brighter pink over there, and I think that's what it needed. So I go ahead and add that, and I'm done. I will see you guys in the next video. Be sure to check out the description box. Like I said, use my code Jennifer10 for 10% off in Color Rush Studios. Bye!